What's good, everybody, and welcome to Andromeda, where creators, collectors, innovators, and dummies come to explore the world of NFTs with Kev. And today we have Frank with us, who's going to be talking with us all about V1Punks, what they are, what they come from, and what the future holds for them. So without further ado, Frank, can you please give us an introduction of who you are and what's your role with V1Punks?
Okay, well, yes. I'm a professional programmer, and I'm also an amateur artist. And it's the amateur artist part that did bring me to NFT, because at a certain moment I did read this article about NFTs and say, whoa, that's cool. I want to do that. And so I rolled into NFTs, became an artist on Foundation, and moved on. And basically I rolled back to technology because I'm almost not doing any one-of-ones anymore. My one-of-ones are pretty rare at the moment.
Nice.
And I'm mainly helping PFP projects to get launched. And my most important project there is Dorkies. And one of the largest holders of Dorkies, he approached me and he said, well, I have this historical token and I want to bring it back to life. And can you have a look on how we can do that? And so we created this Discord. I think that's about 2 months ago now, something like that. And we brainstormed a little bit. And where we are now is basically the outcome. So we decided to make a wrapper. So the historical token is a token that was issued in 2017. So the ERC 721 didn't exist yet. And so it's let's call it a modified ERC 20. And what is so interesting about this token, it is the CryptoPunks token, but 11 days before the CryptoPunks were released. So Larva Labs did release this first contract to become the CryptoPunks. And everybody was able to claim for free. You could claim as many as you want. Some people got really bananas about that, claimed 1,000 each. Worked the whole night through to get as many as possible. And then they could start trading with this token. And then suddenly they realized there was something extremely wrong with this token. Because if you would trade a token, you would put your token up for sale. Somebody else would buy the token, but he would not only get the token, he would also get his money back. That is not really a good position to be trading in.
Yeah.
So when Larva Labs found that out, they said, okay, that's a hard one to fix. So we're just going to fix the contract and we're going to launch the CryptoPunks again. And we're just going to forget about these, the V1s. Let's just forget about these. And so this second contract, those are the CryptoPunks as we know them now. You know, they're worth really a lot. Floor is, I think, around 70 ETH at the moment, something like that. So they're really worth a lot. But this person that I met in the Dorkies Discord, he said, yeah, but I have like 75 of these.
Wow.
Can we bring them back alive? So we looked at it and we said, yeah, what if we built an ERC 721 around the token that basically encapsulates it, that the bug is gone. And the ERC 721, you can trade on OpenSea.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's pretty cool. So we built this system where the original claimers, and they still have their tokens. We reached out to them. They still have their tokens. So they can go to the contract. They say to the contract wrap. And basically what happens is that there happens a private sale between the original contract and the wrapper contract. And so the token, the ownership of the token gets transferred to the wrapper contract. And the wrapper contract actually mints a new token. And I like to describe that as we put a box around the original token.
Yep.
So if I want to ship a painting from me to you, I'm not going to ship just the painting. I will put a nice box around it so the painting doesn't get damaged during transport.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what we're doing. So we're putting this ERC 721 shell around the ERC20 token, so we can trade it without having that old bug.
Awesome. So let's take a step back and curious, how many V1 punks were actually released originally by Larva Labs? Was it the same 10K?
Yeah, it's a 10K. They really set the norm there.
Okay, cool. So to kind of move the timeline forward, so you, from the Dorky chat, you guys rewrap the punks. How do you begin to build that community now, the V1 community, to where it is today? Because it picked up traction fairly quickly. Because I remember in December, I hopped on the spaces and a couple people were talking about V1 punks, and they're going for about 1 ETH. You could have grabbed it in early December or late November, around that time frame. I don't remember exactly. So what was the process of building that community up to where it is now, to where they were trading for well over 20 ETH just a couple of days ago?
Well, we were still working in secret at that moment, and the Discord, only opened around that moment, actually. And indeed, you could pick him up for around 1 ETH at that moment. And that was on a wrapper made by somebody else, by Fubar, to be exact. Problem is, we couldn't use the Fubar wrapper because it just missed a few small pieces of code that we needed to make an efficient marketplace, because that was the second part that we wanted to do. Is to have our own marketplace, just like Larva Labs and the Funks have. So we also wanted to have that private marketplace. And also we didn't agree to the art that was presented by the rapper of Fubar. He was inspired by the wrapper that Larva Labs actually made for the V2 punks. And they have this little green line in the corner for the V2s, and he made this little red line in the corner. And we said, no, we want that the art stays perfectly intact. We don't want to touch the art at all. And so we had to make this new wrapper. And yeah, how did we build a community? Well, we just sent out a few tweets and people came. It was crazy because we really didn't believe it. We said, well, we need a community manager and we need a PR manager and you know what, all these things that you need to get thousands of people into a Discord. But yeah, we were releasing some sneak peeks of our work and people just started to come and come and come.
Yeah, the name is strong.
Yeah, and so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, love that. Okay, so here we are now. Let's talk about the new marketplace that I know you were working on as well. Can you explain a little bit more to me about why that marketplace was needed and the benefits of having that separate marketplace, separate from OpenSea?
Well, the marketplace serves basically a dual purpose. It is a backup. If Larva Labs would take steps and crazy enough, OpenSea would go into those steps and actually ban us from OpenSea. Now, we don't expect that to happen anymore, but you never know. Then we actually had a backup, so trading could still go on. And a second, for me now, the most important thing is the marketplace is a zero-fee marketplace. So there are no royalties on the wrapper and there are no fees on the marketplace. So except for the gas, you always have to pay gas. The seller actually gets everything that the buyer is paying.
Okay, nice. Okay, so interesting turn of events. After the marketplace goes live, Larva Labs tweets out, V1 punks are not the official CryptoPunks. We don't like them. We've got 1,000 of them. So draw your own conclusions, and any proceeds will be used to buy quote unquote real CryptoPunks. I want to know, how did the community feel about that? And what impact do you feel like that tweet had for the V1 holders and for the NFT community as a whole?
Well, actually, the tweet sounded bad, but the impact it had on the Discord is, thank you so much, Larva Labs, because you just gave us 1,000 new members that are all coming in. Where can I buy these? Our volume shot up. We turned a record volume of, I think, over 2,000 ETH that day.
Wow.
in traded. Uh, so it was basically a gift from Larva Labs.
Yeah. And I agree, because there's a lot of speculation and a lot of people talking on Twitter about what Larva Labs should have did. They're going about it completely wrong and so forth and so on. But one thing I would say, them making that tweet gave the V1 collection, in my opinion, a lot of validation. They recognize them as an official collection. They recognize them as something they created. So it kind of backfired what they're originally trying to do. But then again, it's like, what can they really do? That's the beauty of the blockchain, is that everything lives on there. Everything, either there's no hiding anything. So I think an interesting debate and an interesting thing is, can one day, like, what is the real value of the V1s compared to the V2s, and can the V1s one day flip the V2s? And from your perspective, where would you kind of put the value of V1s compared to the value of V2s, knowing that V1s are the actual originals that were kind of like misprints?
Before I answer that, I wanna go back to the tweet for a second.
Yeah, let's go back to the tweet.
Yeah, because there was something else, and we didn't know that at that moment. We only knew it about 2 days later, when a very smart guy came to us. He said, "Look, I discovered something." And he was one of these blockchain detectives that is looking at everybody's transactions and so on. And what did that guy discover is that actually, before they sent the tweet, Pence, who is one of the founders of Larva Labs, started using our wrapper, and he actually sold off, using our wrapper on OpenSea, 39 V1 punks.
Wow.
Holding in 200 plus ETH.
Wow.
I think it was 260, something like that. So, and that even validates the collection more, because this guy is a founder of Larva Labs, and he was selling off his personal stock from a burner wallet where he secretly transferred his V1 punks to. Like, we wouldn't notice, but yeah.
You can't hide anything on the blockchain. Yeah.
People look at the provenance, and that actually validated the collection even more. And when that one came out, Twitter went really crazy about it, and we saw a second peak in our volume.
Wow.
So,
wow.
And I'll try to answer your question. I really don't know. Now, if we look at like comic books and post stamps and stuff like that, we actually see that the misprints that they get more attention and usually even get more value. Will this happen with the V1 punks? Well, honestly, I don't know. Do I hope that it happens? Yes, I definitely do hope that it happens. And some people will hate me for saying this. And I can understand if you did buy your V2 punk a month ago or 2 months ago, and you paid 200,000 euros for that, and now suddenly you realize that you are not owning the first PFP collection, you are owning the second PFP collection. Yeah, that's a real hard nut to crack. And suddenly that new collection start competing, to call it like that, for a piece of the market.
Yeah.
Now the market is big enough. Personally, my estimate is there will be between 5,000 to 6,000 V1 punks. The other ones are just lost.
Mm-hmm.
We already discovered a few wallets that were hacked and people abandoned them. They no longer have access to the seed phrase and stuff like that. We also have the 1,000 that sit with Larva Labs. I don't expect that they will convert anymore now. So let's say 5,000, 6,000 is realistic. And we can basically say something similar about V2 punks. Some V2 punks are also just lost in lost wallets. We don't know how many. So there is enough room for both collections to nicely sit side by side. there is no problem. But I do understand if you did buy one, let's say a month ago for 200,000, that you can be a little bit salty that now these things suddenly come up.
Yeah, because your financial thesis is I'm buying this first collection, this first PFP collection, and it's a blow to it's a gut punch in my opinion for those who just brought CryptoPunks, learning about V1s. But what's real interesting to me, I want to go back to the founder dumping his CryptoPunks, dumping his V1 punks, and then them later on releasing a statement saying that they're going to take legal action or whatever. I can't remember the exact statement. They said they're basically saying along the lines they're going to take legal action against V1. And my thing is, one, you just dumped on those people that you're basically saying you're going to take legal action against. So how do you feel about Larva Labs releasing that statement? In your opinion on where that's kind of going to go in the future?
Well, we also talk to our lawyers.
Yeah.
And there basically there's no law that says that they can't do that. But it is, of course, it's 100% unethical to do that because hauling in that much money and then saying, we're going to take down this collection is basically a rug pull.
Yeah.
So that really, I didn't expect that from Larva Labs. Let's call it like that.
I agree. But also what begins to happen as well, in my opinion, is that the attention that this is bringing to V1 punks is absolutely massive. And for me, from a collector's point of view, if you have the ETH, I hope to one day acquire one. But if I did have the liquidity, I would 100% get one, because this to me is adding to the rich history and the rich story of what V1 punks are. And I think long term, this is going to make them even more historic, more beautiful, how they went through the process of being the original misprints. They got put under the shelves, got rediscovered, relaunched, and then the originators, the creators, try to, do everything in their power to bury them again. But we know everything on the blockchain lives forever. So there's only so much they could do, And I think long-term wise, we may not even see it right now, but this is making for a very, very juicy story / plot for this particular collection that I'm absolutely falling in love with as I'm watching the whole thing unfold in front of my eyes through Twitter and social media and all that good stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And their own CEO actually said that a long time ago, that once things are on the blockchain, they will run their own lives and there is nothing stopping them anymore. And so that makes it even more surprising to see how Larva Labs now reacts, because personally, they should embrace them. They should say, okay, this is our long lost child. It was broken and it came back and it's fixed now, and let's give it some love. And they're just pushing it away again. And it's not really how you should treat your children.
That is hilarious. And it's crazy because they have a good chunk of them. They have 1,000 of them, So if they could have easily embraced it and really profited from it if they wanted to, or, did something cool with it. But I'm gonna let Larva Labs do Larva Labs. Shout out to them. They're early pioneers in this space, so I won't bash them because I do have a ton of respect for Larva Labs. But I want to move forward, man. I want to move forward past Larva Labs. I want to move forward. What does the future hold for V1 punks? Is there any community initiatives going on? What's the plan? I guess that the community is currently building around the narrative V1.
Yes, and that is important about our community. It's okay. I'm talking to you now again, and Hamba is talking a lot, and Cyborg is talking a lot, but we are not the leaders of this community. That is quite important to say.
Yeah,
this community will really function decentralized, and as we say, this recording will only come out in a few days, so I can already say this. I just did set up the Snapshot platform, where everybody who is holding a V1 punk can actually put in a proposal to say, okay, I want to see this happening. I want to see that happening. And the other people that have V1 punks will then actually be able to vote on that proposal. This is a good idea, it's a bad idea. And then inside the Discord, if a proposal gets passed, we can see how can we make this happen.
Love that. I love that.
Yeah, it's not a DAO. DAOs are popular. It's not a DAO, but it's a community that will evolve around that proposal platform. And it will be the community that decides the roadmap. So there is no central committee that will make a pretty and shiny roadmap like the normal PFP projects now all do. We will never have that. So it will grow organically. And that will be an interesting thing to see, because our core team, let's call it like that, we've set all this up, and now we also have to release our child, to call it like that, and it will be the community that will decide what is the future.
I love that, and I think that's how it should be. And what's interesting, I do want to stay on top with V1s, but Panda Earth, I met you through Panda Earth and what we have going on, and having to want to do a rewrap. And that's also a community-driven led project where there is no developers, that the original developers kind of rugged it very similarly to how V1s, and here we are being community-led. So the same way with V1s, I think that's a new wave for historical projects. And I think we'll see a lot more styles of projects being community-led and community-ran in the future. And I keep going back to this. That's the beauty of the blockchain. That's the beauty of this technology, that you could just pick it up and restart it with a group of people in any moment of history. So that's pretty cool. Frank, is there anything else that I'm missing, or things that you want to share with me about V1 that you think the world should know and more people should know about?
Well, I would say to the world, keep a good eye on the V1s, because we're definitely not finished yet. There's a lot moving on, especially that voting platform coming up now. I know a lot of community members, they really want to start doing projects around the V1 punks. We already have Bugs there, who is doing these original minter certificates. So those will probably also be used somewhere. We have now the Good Morning thing. We're thinking of minting those and airdropping those to the owners of their punk. So there's a lot moving on. So keep a good eye on this Discord. It's not over yet.
Awesome. Frank, this was absolutely phenomenal. I think I just wanted to get some of the details on V1s and share this with the world. And I think whoever listens to this is gonna, get some good information and help to spread awareness about this very historical the real first 10K collection profile picture. So thank you for coming on, and Andromeda out.